He woke in a white room. There was a tube in his arm. A machine beside the bed made a soft, rhythmic sound, not unpleasant, like a tide he could almost remember. A woman in blue stood at the door and said something he had to ask her to repeat 3 times before the words assembled into meaning. "You're in hospital. You were found on the river path. Do you know your name?" He thought about it, which was already strange. He had never had to think about it before. "I don't," he said. She wrote something down. Her pen made that small scratch that all pens make everywhere, always. A sound so small and so constant that no one had ever once thought to name it. He noticed it because he had heard it 10,000 years before she was born. He thought, "I am going to have a very difficult few days." The doctors were kind and methodical in the way that careful people become when faced with something they don't have a category for. They ran their tests, they asked their questions. They asked if he knew the year and the city and the name of whoever was in charge of the country, and he got 2 of the 3 right, which they noted with the particular neutrality of people being professional about something alarming. A psychiatrist sat with him on the 3rd day. She had a warm voice, and she was very good at what she did, and she listened to him for nearly an hour before she said gently that the belief that one is, or was, divine is associated with several conditions that were highly treatable. "I know," he said. "I know it sounds exactly like that. What makes you certain you're not unwell?" He looked at his hands. "Because the memories aren't grandiose. They're ordinary. I remember being tired. I remember being wrong about things and having to correct myself. I remember someone crying once and not being able to help and sitting with them anyway, and that being the best I could do." He paused. "Gods in delusions are powerful. What I'm remembering is mostly just being responsible for things." She wrote something down. Her pen made that small scratch. He recognized the sound, and for a moment, just a moment, everything came flooding back. It came in pieces, never all at once. The world as it looked before there were eyes to see it, not dark, but unwitnessed, which is different. The first moment something felt warmth and turned toward it. Oceans when they were young and had no name and did not need one. A particular valley he had made with some care and then watched fill with a city over 8 centuries, which from his angle had been approximately a Tuesday afternoon. People. He remembered people, not the sweep of them, the individual weight. A woman who wrote letters to the dead for 60 years without expecting answers and somehow felt heard. A child who collected stones for no reason he ever explained, not to himself or anyone else. An old man who sat on the same bench every morning and fed the same birds and was, without knowing it, the fixed point around which his whole neighborhood quietly organized itself. He had loved them, not abstractly, actually, specifically the way you love a thing you have made and watched suffer and watched persist anyway. And he remembered, here in fragments that arrived like cold water, the moment he decided. He had been tired. That was the honest reason, and he sat with it now in the white room and found he was not ashamed of it. He had been tired of the distance, tired of watching. He had wanted just once, just for a human lifetime, which is nothing, which is everything, to be inside it, to not know the ending, to be afraid of something and have to trust someone else with the fear.